she found out that the business coach was like $14,000 to work with her. And at the time, she had like no money. Like, she maybe had enough money for her bills and stuff, but she didn't have type of money to be investing like $14,000. But instead of her saying, oh, I'm not going to do it, oh man, I don't have the money, woe is me, which a lot of us would do in facing that situation, she said, how am I going to find this money? How am I going to get this money? What's up, y'all?
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Adrienne.
And this is the Two Mics,
Two Glasses podcast, where two best friends discuss business ownership and life.
What's good?
We were like synced. We did it again. In our turn. Our head turn. What's up, girl? What's going on in your life?
Hell. I don't really have much going on. I'm not gonna lie. I've been chilling, doing my introvert thing, sitting at home, chilling.
What you been watching?
Them Dragons.
Oh. Are you on season 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have to finish the last episode, but, it's ending in the way that I like it to end, with the people I want winning.
Oh, nice.
So,
were you a Game of Thrones person?
Yeah. But I will say this. I was watching Game of Thrones and trying to multitask. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I missed a lot, and I rewatched it, and I missed so much. It's the kind of show you just have to watch just that.
Yeah.
Normally, if I'm watching TV, I'm typically working or doing something else, mm-hmm. not just sitting and watching. Mm-hmm. But there are particular shows where I dedicate time. That was Insecure. And then Game of Thrones, House of Dragons.
Yeah, it's like some shows, it's like you're in a movie theater. It requires
your attention.
The
or you'll
attention
miss something.
Exactly.
Especially with Game of Thrones. You'll look up and somebody's dead and you're like, what the F just happened?
Mm-hmm.
And they just be dying. Yeah. So you can't get attached to anybody. I loved that show. But,
how's House of Dragons, in comparison to Game of Thrones?
That's a good question. I would say, I like the story. I like where it's going. I think the pacing is slightly different. It skips years. Mm-hmm. I don't think Game of Thrones didn't really skip time like that. It jumped. But it's the story of one of the houses. So we kind of already know what's gonna happen. The difference was
how it's going.
The game. Well, yeah. Especially if you read the books, more. I obviously am not. I didn't know what that was. But Game of Thrones, we didn't know how it ended. And then also, toward the end when it got bad, basically, I think they, went off book. They weren't doing what the books said it was going to do. The last season was pretty terrible. But, for this show, you kind of already know main things that are going to happen. And you already know that the family is going to, fail in a major way. Because, I think it was, what's the crazy king's name? I don't know, but he went insane, and that kind of took that family off the throne. So you know that they're gonna get there because we already know what happened for Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. But it's seeing how they get there. I think makes it intriguing, and you're still rooting for them to win. You're rooting for certain people to win, but at the end of the day, you know that they're all gonna fall.
Yeah.
So it's it's just interesting, and then they infused the dragons, which were so the dragons were in Game of Thrones, but it was exciting to see them because they weren't in every episode. Yeah. And now they're
everywhere.
All of the dragons.
That's cool.
So it's dope.
Nice.
I really enjoy.
I need surprisingly. So I was really into Game of Thrones, but I don't know. I watched an episode or 2 of House and Dragons, and I can't remember if I just didn't have constant HBO or if I just lost interest. But I need to try it again.
It's very interesting. I would say the one thing that kind of really was queasy is there's a lot of incest with the Targaryens. Mm-hmm. That's why they all have that same hair, but it's just, you have to get used to it. Mm-hmm.
Don't think of it as real life.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross. Some of it is real, ooh, creepy. It's a little creepy. Anyway, you know, I can go on and on about my little TV shows. Y'all know I love TV.
No, what you got me. I'm going to check it out again when I have like nothing to do. No, it's
Which
fun.
is never.
Good glass of wine.
The popcorn.
Yeah, maybe this weekend.
Mm.
I need that log.
What's going on with you?
Because I still don't have HBO. But
I got you.
I don't know. I mean, not much. Nothing to write home about. I watched Jaws, or half of Jaws, last weekend.
JAWS?
Yeah.
The shark?
Yeah. I need to finish it.
You
yeah.
watched half of it.
But yeah, no, nothing to write home about. Anyway.
That is hilarious.
So today it's like school. We go back to, well, the good parts of school. Not like you're bored in a class.
Hopefully not bored. Okay. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's like school.
Yeah,
I
so
cannot.
I know I can
I know I can
be what I want to be.
be what I want to be.
If I work hard at
If I work hard at it.
Oh
I
my
can be
God.
Why can't we know any of the words to
I
any
don't
of the
know.
songs?
I mean, it's
I
too
think
many
it-
to think.
I be where I want to be.
Oh, I be where I want to be. With the little kid voice. But yeah, so we are talking about our favorite books. Yeah. So in the, realm of professional development, we are going to talk about our favorite personal and professional development books.
Yes. And, excuse me, to start us off, I have a quote from Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
She said that books were her path to personal freedom, which is interesting. I guess she was in a farm in Mississippi and learned how to read very early and discovered a whole world outside of where she was. So,
nice.
For us as entrepreneurs, reading and finding really good books to help you along your journey can open your mind to doing things different ways, seeing different perspectives, and seeing successes from very successful people.
Yeah.
So it is so important to, just keep a little repertoire of books. I decided to get an Audible subscription. It's like $15 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So that I would have credits to get books anytime I needed to. And I have a huge library now in Audible. Some books that I would still like to read and I haven't yet. But, like if you don't have a ton of hard books, you see her stack is a little taller because Adrienne reads physical books.
Little bookworm.
Physical books. I Audible most of, even the books that are here were likely Audible. So
these are collector
items. But anyway you do it, reading is power, knowledge is power. So let's get into it.
Yeah. Why don't we start with like one of our favorite books of all time?
Oh,
I guess of all personal and professional development. Time. Out of your stack or your library, electronic library.
I would say one of the most helpful books I have read was obviously Profit First.
Yeah.
Which you told me about, which Michelle told you about.
Yeah.
Profit First is
that in your stack?
It is in my stack. Hold on. Profit
Yeah, you
First.
can tell you like you have all the little
I have
tabs.
like tabs in it by Mike Callowitz. This one. This really helps you to manage your cash flow in a very basic way.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make things hard. It's very straightforward and it's super helpful for businesses of, I think, many different sizes. It goes up to businesses that have millions in profit, or I should say revenue. It's just a great way to start things off. So if you're starting off and making a little bit of money, this is helpful. If you already have a ton of money, it's helpful. So it's really helpful at all stages. And we've talked about profit first, but reading the book and understanding how it's used, how you can implement it, how you can assess where you are, and then set targets to get where you want to be. This is a great read. Also, if you do the Audible, the author is very entertaining and he cusses a little bit. So, great book. Probably one of my favorite business books.
So it's like a cash flow strategy.
Yes, cash flow strategy. It says transform your business from a cash eating monster to a money making machine. It helps you focus on paying yourself. It helps you focus on managing your expenses well, not overspending. It's a great book. It's a great book.
Loved it.
I would say that.
Yeah, really good
That's
book.
my first pick.
Really good book. Well, I enjoy a good glass of wine with my book, and today we are drinking Prisoner California Red Wine 2021. So before we get into it,
it's a great segue.
Thank you. Yum.
How could we forget the wine? My God.
The most important part. Okay. So, for me, I have kind of like a twofer.
Mm-hmm.
You Are a Badass, and You Are a Badass at Making Money.
Yeah.
By Jen Sincero. So, in her bio green. Says, which one? Yellow or green?
Green.
Okay. And says, Jen Sincero is a #1 New York Times bestselling author, speaker, and success coach who's helped countless people transform their personal and professional lives via her newsletters, products, seminars, public appearances, and books, including You Are a Badass at Making Money, Master the Mindset of Wealth. And you can find out more about her at jensincero.com. So I have both of the books. I think the first one is just the You Are a Badass. So this is How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. So this is both of these books are really great books to get started on your mindset journey. Some of the things that I got from these books. So my favorite part about these books is that she basically talks about how much of a mess she was. Like she says her personal story, but in the way she talks, it just is like, I was a complete mess. I was doing this. My love life was this. I was making this mistake. I was doing this and doing that. And so it's really relatable in the way, like her tone of it. But one of the biggest things that I got from these books, and so I think the Making Money, it might maybe in the Making Money one, I can't remember. But right before I went full time as an entrepreneur, I was like binging books, audibles and physical books. And these books were in that pile. And one of the things I heard in the book is she was saying how in her entrepreneur journey, there was a point where she knew she needed a business coach. And there was a very specific business coach that she felt would be able to, allow her to be more successful in business. It's in the money one. Okay. And so I remember her saying that like she found out that the business coach was like $14,000 to work with her. And at the time she had like no money. Like she maybe had enough money for her bills and stuff, but she didn't have type of money to be investing like $14,000. But instead of her saying like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Oh man, I don't have the money. Woe is me, which a lot of us would do in facing that situation. She said, how am I going to find this money? How am I going to get this money? And so I think she was like, she did some manifestation and she prayed on it and was doing some other stuff. And she was able, I think she cashed in some stocks or cashed in something, but basically she had an opportunity presented to her on something that she already had. So money that she already had saved and was building and accruing wealth. And when she went to look, the amount that was there was $14,000. It was like the exact amount that she needed. Yeah, for it. And one of the things I got from that was don't let a number sticker shock you and make you feel as though like, oh, I can't afford this person or I can't afford this. So after that, that's when I hired my business coach, Julie. And it was a similar experience where it was like, I don't know how much she's going to charge, but I know I need to hire her. Like I was convinced that she was the right person for me. And when they said the costs on the sales call, I was like, oh, okay. Yes, I want to do it. Well, I think I was like, she was like, okay, are you ready? Like her saleswoman, are you ready? And I was like, call me back in an hour or whatever. And so, what I did is I looked at different things. I looked at my available credit. I looked at my bank accounts, which didn't have the money in it. But I had basically the exact amount I needed on a business credit card that I recently opened. And so I invested in that way. So I don't think I would have done that if I didn't read that book. Yeah.
And did the coaching like completely transform your life or your business?
I really do. I think it was, I really think it was like God ordained. And I think it really has transformed my business. Like in the way that it transformed my business. So she had basically, so this is the black woman multimillionaire that I hired. And some of the benefits that I got from working with her was that the other people that signed up with her were mainly women of color, mainly and Black women. And most of them were full-time entrepreneurs. Before I met her, I could probably count on one hand the amount of full-time entrepreneurs I knew, especially Black females, probably even lower. So being connected each week, because she had coaching calls twice a week, to those women was like one of the most invaluable experiences that I had. And she had like a methodology on how to get more clients and stuff. And it kind of worked. It didn't work as like much as I wanted it to work, but I also didn't do everything I was supposed to do. But I've gotten at least 5 clients from that group of women. So just that alone paid for itself. Yeah. And just again, the relationships I have, because I met Michelle, who is, who you work for now, through Julie's program.
You want to know the crazy story?
Yeah.
While I was reading that book, she said something like, just do it. Like, who cares what the outcome is, right? And at the time, like, Michelle had a job. You sent me that job posting from Michelle. And I was like, I don't know if I'm, like,
qualified
right? Because while I'm very qualified in my accounting and audit, I had never, I didn't really know QuickBooks that well yet. Like, I knew it enough, but not that well. And so I read the book and I was just like, you know what? F it. I'm just going to put in my application. I had to send in a quick video. So I had like I still had my workout clothes on. I just threw on a blazer, and tried to look
presentable. Was it business on top, like party on the
bottom? Excuse me. And ended up starting that relationship with Michelle. And I would say like without her, I probably wouldn't, I don't know if I would have been able to leave corporate, like in this timing. And
how many years later now is?
4. I met her in 2020.
Wow.
So time flies.
It really does. I didn't realize you
felt like it was yesterday.
It feels like a year or two ago.
Yeah, but I was literally reading that book. So, it's great to have books to motivate you to step outside of your comfort zone and just like try things, do it. That is a great book for both of those books are great for motivating you to put your fear aside. Honestly, great books.
Yes, I still have a bookmark in here. Okay, what's the next book you want to?
Next book.
Promo.
I'm gonna do these two together. So Deep Work and The One Thing. I think they work hand in hand.
One Thing.
The One Thing is so good. So I had a productivity problem where I would multitask thinking I'm getting a lot done, and you're not. Because when you multitask, you're doing bits and pieces of many things, probably not well. So when I realized that, I ended up reading The One Thing first. And The One Thing is basically telling you just do one thing at a time. And it also has some focus tips in there to help you to focus on that one thing. Yeah. So, for example, putting your phone elsewhere, don't check your email, all those things. Because, you check your email thinking you're working, but it's really creating distractions, other distractions, because you might have a goal to finish something and then you get an email that is going to distract you to do something else. Right. Which that used to rule me too. Like, it might still rule me a little bit. Cause you get a client email and you're like, oh, I need to jump on that. But I mean, doesn't really matter if they get the email now or in an hour when you finish what you were doing, or 2 hours.
And then they reply, like, when you're, like, replying out quick, they're like, oh, you're so responsive.
Right. And you're like...
But you don't have to be as responsive.
No. I mean, you can literally answer them the next day, and they'll be fine.
Right.
And so that book helped with that. Deep work is kind of hand in hand, where it helps you to, like, sit and focus on things deeply. Like how to remove distractions, how to create environments to get things done, and then like thinking about how the human brain works, where you need to take breaks. So it kind of helps break down how to set up your day to focus on working on something deeply, because, you know, the brain conks out at a certain point. Like there's only so much thinking you can do in a day. Unfortunately, that's just how we work. We tire out, right? So at some point you're going to get tired, and the thing is to prepare for that and to give yourself like brain breaks, which is normal, and not to feel bad about it. So the one thing in Deep Work, I do not have pictures of them. I don't have the physical book.
I used to have that book. I don't know where it is now, but I probably went to
I completely forgot the authors. Hold on, let me look up the authors.
Okay. While she looks up the authors, the one thing I feel like just changed, it really changed like the way I did business. That was another book that was a book recommended by Julie, the first business coach. She actually mailed it like when you joined her program to everybody. And, the biggest thing that it transformed for me was selling one thing. So like prior to that, and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode, like if someone wanted to find out about my services or book a consultation or sales call, I'd probably go through like a menu of services, or I would try and come up with like a package for them on the fly or whatever, and just talk about like a lot of different services and stuff. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, you know, to the prospect. And sometimes when they're overwhelmed, they make no decision, you know? So, with Julie, she was saying, focus on selling one thing. And she said, get to 100K of selling that one thing before you switch to selling something else. So that's what made me make my Simply Branded package. And initially I was just selling one package, or I think it were multiple levels, but still one program. And I've been running with that. It's like 5 years later, and that's the program. That's the program. Yeah. And I hit 100K and more, you know? So that was transformational advice for sure.
So the one thing is by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, and the Deep Work is by Cal Newport. Okay. Really good books.
Nice.
Really good business books. Okay, your turn.
Okay. So I am going to talk about this book. So this book is called Do What You Are. Discover the perfect career for you through the secrets of personality type. By Paul D. Tiger. Tiger?
Tiger?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe Tiger. I don't know. And Barbara Barron Tiger. Okay, so probably husband and wife. Yeah, so this book goes into the Myers.
So cute.
I'm sure you're enjoying this episode, but we wanted to quickly pop in to let you know about the cool swag we're wearing today. AMW Apparel is a line of inspirational and entrepreneurial clothing for those looking to stand out and make a statement to their following. We provide comfortable and high-quality t-shirts, sweatshirts, tank tops, and more. Enter code 2mics2glasses, which is the number 2, MICS, the number 2 again, GLASSES, with no spaces, for 10% off your first order at shopwithamw.com. Link in the description. We appreciate your support.
Myers-Briggs. I read that book like at least 10 years ago. Look, it's like all like aged and stuff. Maybe 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. But it goes into your personality type, and it helps you kind of figure out some of the things that you could be good at in your career. So for me, I am a ENTJ, which is extrovert, intuitive, thinking, and judging. And if you do the 16 personalities quiz, if you want to just figure out what your Myers-Briggs personality is, you can go to 16 personalities online. I don't know if it's .com, but just Google it.
16 personalities.
Yeah. And so my prototype of ENTJ is the commander. And the commander, so I think Condoleezza Rice was a commander. But there's been like some presidents that have been the commander.
I'm glad you don't have her hair.
What's up with her hair?
You don't remember that stiff hair?
I remember it was like short, right? It was like
Girl. The kids probably don't even remember who Condoleezza Rice is.
I know. But yeah, so the commander is like, it's a kind of strong personality type, but a lot of commanders make really good CEOs, make really good like business leaders. So you can start with the 16 personalities quiz, so you can find out what your prototype is, and it gives you like a profile of your strengths, your weaknesses, compatibility. Who are you?
I am ISFJ-A. So introvert, I'm a feeling, I'm observant, judging, and assertive.
Okay. And who's your person? Or what's your...
My celebrity?
Well, not celebrity. So I'm the commander. Who are you?
Oh, I'm the defender.
And what's the defender?
That's a good question. I think defenders kind of stand up for others, and they say we help make the world go round. You're harder working, like have a deep sense of responsibility of people around them.
This is cool. This book has like chapters on
each one.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm just like looking to see.
Well, all I know is fellow defender of mine is Beyonce.
Oh, nice.
So it must be a great personality type.
Yeah. This is funny. So my ENTJ chapter, the quote is, "Everything's fine. I'm in charge," which is kind of me. I'm like, things will be fine if I run this. Running. Yes.
As in, do not surprise me.
Let's see. But yeah, it talks about careers. It's really cool. It has like a lot of like personal stories. And here's some positions, popular occupations for ENTJs. So it says, business executive, senior manager, office manager, administrator, personnel manager, sales manager, marketing manager,
all
which
the managers? I wonder what mine is.
Network integration specialist. I'll give it to you. Technical trainer, information services. Yeah, a lot of different managers and stuff, and a lot of kind of techie stuff too. So that
actually tracks, because you're, we're making websites as a child on MySpace, figuring out the technology. MySpace was like a whole coding thing.
MySpace was so fun. Like, it was just fun for web design. Glittery. Yeah.
Like, you had to learn the code.
Yes.
How would I even find it?
So at the top, there's like go towards the back, and there at the top of it says like the different ones.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So that is one that I really like. Another one that is good here is Smart Women Finish Rich by David Bach. It says,
what? Smart Women Finish Rich by a man? What you talking about?
Well, what's that woman's name? Who's a financial woman?
Who?
She's white, short hair.
Oh, no, not
Dang, what's her name?
Oh, the Christian lady.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
she's a good book.
Sue? It's not Sue. What's her name?
Oh man,
Susie
Orman.
I told you it was Sue.
Yeah, Susie Orman. So Susie Orman has a book that's similar to this too. That is about women like getting money and doing different things. But this is another good one. Yes, it's by a man. Let's see what it says. Let's see. It says, with hundreds of thousands of copies in print around the world, Smart Women Finish Rich by renowned financial advisor David Bach has shown women of all ages and background how to take control of their financial future and finish rich. Whether you're working with a few dollars a week or a significant inheritance, Bach's 9-step program gives you the tools for spending wisely, establishing security, and aligning money with your values. Plus, in this completely revised and updated edition, David Bach includes critical new long-term investment advice, information on teaching your kids about money, internet resources, and new ways to attract greater wealth, personal and financial into your life. I think it's good to like get financial advice from men and women, because I feel like there's a lot of men, like it's easier for men to get like really, really rich, and sometimes they're more
You want to know why?
Because of patriarchy.
Because we couldn't have bank accounts to the dang 70s.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Anyway.
But I do think it could be like, I would say read both books. I can't remember the book. I'll find the name.
Susie Orman.
Yeah, Susie Orman's book for women.
But I'm sure there are helpful tips, because regardless, you know, learning from people who have money, how to manage your money is probably helpful.
Yeah.
It's probably helpful.
For sure. Okay.
So that's a good book. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I would say my next pick, and I'm gonna, let's see which one
I love your book on top.
Oh.
But I guess it's like a personal one.
Yeah.
Right?
Black Faces in White Places by Randall Pinkett and Jeffrey Robinson. So Randall won The Apprentice. I don't remember what season, but he won The Apprentice, and I remember, I think he went to my church, like in New Jersey. And so I remember these books were going around like hot fire. And my mom was like, you need to read this book. And I was like, for what? Because I was a teen when The Apprentice was out. So not a teen, but you know, college age maybe. And so going through corporate and being one of the only Black faces sometimes has really helped. Because I would say when I started my career, I was trying to assimilate, and that was kind of soul sucking in a way. And so the book actually just helps you to,
I like the cover,
realize how being yourself and being authentic adds value to the workplace more than kind of trying to erase parts of yourself that make you Black. So like, a specific example that I had an issue with when I first started working was, just people kind of misreading my face, and I had to like work on that. So apparently I was like intimidating one of the seniors I was working with. So like,
because you were serious, like serious face?
No, I wasn't that serious. I just think like, I don't know. That's the problem. I didn't know what was intimidating her, and I didn't understand why she was intimidated. Mm-hmm. Especially since she was my boss and made significantly more money than I did. So I don't understand it. And I was trying to understand it. I was trying to change myself to fit into a mold of what I thought would be acceptable, because I didn't want to have the same issue. Because it did give me some problems with my first job, where she felt like she couldn't give me certain types of work because she thought that I didn't want to do it. And I was like, when did I ever?
Yeah, what was she reading from your face?
I don't know. But you know, we make faces. Like, if she wanted me to like footing is like adding everything together, like pages and pages of documents, you know, you're like looking at numbers and just adding it and making sure it's right.
Okay.
Like it's like tedious work. So I'd be like, okay, sure. Like, is that what you want to do as a first year associate? Not necessarily, but it's like what you have to do. Like I don't know. There's like, I can't read that woman's mind. I don't know.
Well, you know, just being Black in the workplace, which we've talked about before.
Hello.
It's like,
so I read this book.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to change. I was trying to fit into what they wanted, what people wanted me to be. I was trying not to offend. I was trying not to intimidate. Mm-hmm. And I realized that I feel like that was a her problem.
Yeah.
That was not a me problem. And I wish I had this book earlier because I would have noticed that. But this can really apply to many different spaces because, you know, in the world we live in, you may not always be in a place that's comfortable. And so I think what this helps you do is to figure out, like, it gives you 10 strategies to find success. But I think a part of that is leaning into your authenticity of who you are and how you are, no matter where you are, which allows you to then bring forth the best parts of yourself. It's a really good book. Shout out to Randall. He came and spoke at Avalon Bay when I was there too. And he signed my book, so that's cool. But a little full circle moment, like.
Yeah. I want you to do one more book because you made me want to go to my Kindle. I have some favorite ones in here. I want to find them.
Okay, another book that I love is called The 6 Working Geniuses. Oh, who was it by? Where's my phone? I don't remember who it was by. 6 Working Geniuses, though. If you are a manager of people or you have a team of people, understanding the type of people that are on your team and what motivates them to work is really important. The 6 Working Geniuses helps you to define those people based on where they lie in those geniuses. So, for example, I think one of the geniuses is a visionary. And a lot of visionaries are poor executors. So you don't want to have a team full of visionaries. You want to have an executor. You want to have people who can rally other people. Visionaries may not be good with people either. Like, they might be just good at coming up with vision. And then there's like other types of people like that, you may like have like the ralliers. These are not the actual names in the book, but I'm just giving examples. But you might have the ralliers who are really good at galvanizing people to do the things they need to do to keep things running. So you need the galvanizing people, you need the executors, the people who are actually going to do work. And then you need somebody who can help the visionary put things into place, right? So it's like, do you have all of these geniuses on you, these types of working geniuses on your team? And if you don't, you may need to assess how you're hiring because, like I said, a room full of executors may not have the vision to get you to the next level. But a room full of visionaries ain't gonna get nothing done. Yeah. And a room full of galvanizers are looking for people to galvanize, but they may not be great executors either. Yeah. So it's like, as you're hiring, like mix it up. So understanding like what you need for your team and who's currently on your team and how to like do it. Like when you get to that point in business, you know, at first we're looking for executors, anybody to get the client work off our plates. But as we grow, we need middle managers. We're going to need people we can delegate to and just trust that everything is going to happen. And executors may not be able to get everybody doing what they need to do. Right. You know, for you to really step away from your business, if we're talking about succession planning, you're going to need somebody who's going to be able to step in, run the business without you being there. So the 6 Working Geniuses, I said I was going to look up who it was by, and I did not. By The 6 Working Geniuses is by... Oh, child, I got so many books in here I can't even find it. Okay. Patrick Lencioni. Okay. The 6 Types of Working Genius. It's a great book, and also the Audible is, it's like a story, so it doesn't even really feel like fiction, because he's kind of just like storytelling a situation. Like nonfiction? Yeah, it doesn't seem like nonfiction. Sorry. Doesn't seem like nonfiction because he's telling a story. Audible is great. It was easy to get through. Nice. So I recommend that book.
Great. So I have 3 more. I mean, I have more than 3, but I'm going to just do 3 more. Yeah. Okay. So the first one is Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months by Melinda Emerson. So it says a month-to-month guide to a business that works. So this book is amazing. So like, you know, most of us, like as you're working in corporate and stuff, you know, all the time you're thinking about, as an entrepreneur, like, oh my gosh, what can I do to be able to work for myself one day? This book breaks down from like, you basically having nothing. You could have no business 12 months, you know, before, and it gives you each month what you should be doing, how you should do it, all the way up until the day that you leave, leave your company. So becoming your own boss in 12 months, it's like, that's incredible for someone to even write that and then to give those different steps. So I remember I really, really enjoyed that one. Another one, this is like a really common one, but Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Yeah. Yeah. And there's another one here, The Millionaire Next Door. So those are like basically books that talk about millionaires may not look, you know, how you think they may look. And sometimes, a lot of times actually, like they may not be so flashy, or they may do things this way. They may mindset talk this way. Like they may have an abundance mindset, or they may have a, what's the opposite of abundance? Scarcity mindset and stuff. And all of that like really comes into play about who you're going to be. If you want to be really successful, like what are the behaviors that you need to, you know, follow or acquire to do that. So great book. That one is by Robert Kiyosaki, and he has like a whole thing.
He has a ton of books.
Yeah, he has a ton of books, and he was also going on tour, and he probably has like a workbook. Like, I remember it was like a whole thing. This Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
He has like a, never mind.
Like,
he had like a workshop that I went to a couple years back, but he wasn't there. It was just like recruiting you into some program, but
yeah.
He has a huge span in the business education field, so not a bad book to start with. It kind of just sets the tone for things, for your new understanding of what you can do.
Yeah.
So
many books.
I know. I'll give maybe one or two.
Yeah, give your
more.
give your top one. Like, not top, but give your final like one.
I don't have a final one, but I'm gonna give a couple more.
Okay, fine.
Sprinkle it in.
Okay,
it'll be fast because I'm not gonna go into detail. So I would say Atomic Habits is a great book to get. It is going to help you. It helps you to build good habits. Whatever your goal is, it's helping you build it. The author is James Clear. And then Successful Women Think Differently. I think that's by Valerie Burton, Black woman.
Nice.
And she just talks about the mindset differences and changes that we need to make in our mindset. So I did enjoy that book. And then I will end with the 5 love languages. So while I know it's about love and personal things, the 5 love languages is a great book. Because it does help you to understand people. So again, I've read a lot of managing people type books. Oh, and I forgot about Clockwork. Okay, I got 2 more.
Oh, Mike Michalowicz.
Yeah, Mike, it's pretty good. Let me do.
What else?
Okay, so 5 love languages is great because you understand how people feel love, how people interpret love, and that can translate not just to your, relationships, romantic, familial, but also professional, because it is important to understand how to motivate people, especially if you're managing them, and understanding how they feel loved, how they feel appreciated, can be really important as you manage people. And I just, my husband and I read this together to understand each other better.
Yeah, what's your love language? Top love language?
Definitely acts of service. Okay. Which,
and the 5s are acts of service, quality time,
physical
touch. That's mine. Words of affirmation, and gifts.
Which is his. It might be a mix between physical touch and gifts. DeAndre loves gifts. He actually gives them, which I'm like, you don't have to do that. Thank you.
So sweet.
But if you did the laundry, I would tear up. Just folded my clothes. Oh. But yeah, it's a great book to just understanding the people around you. And it can help you ask the right questions to see what they need. Last, I'm going to end with Clockwork by Mike Michalowicz. This book is
it's such a number book.
It's actually not even about numbers, but it's about working yourself out of your business. So once you get to the point where you are running your business and you have a team and you are like, I cannot do this forever.
Right.
You have to get things out of your head and into processes. And this will help, this book helps. We actually Mitchell Consulting is now certified in Clockwork coaching.
Nice.
So if you are having issues with building your team and trying to take vacations, basically Michelle first went through the program herself because she, could not step away. Like if something crazy happened, the business would just stop. And so that's part of why I'm there now, and a few others. We have a team. And when we first started, we all went through the Clockwork program, which is based on this book. And what it does is it just helps you to focus your energies, understand where people need to be, get your processes out of your head onto paper, in a way that your team can do it. And it eventually works the owner out of the business long enough to take a 4-week vacation.
Nice.
So if you've never taken a 4-week vacation and you'd like to take a 4-week vacation as a business owner, Clockwork is great. And if you need a coach, we can coach you. So hit us up. But also
Link
a wonderful
in the description.
Link in the description. But also a really good book for new and growing businesses.
Nice. So I have a final 2.
Okay.
As well. So the first one is Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. So Building a Story Brand is about how, like, when you're communicating what you do, who you serve, it really needs to be more them focused than you focused. So it should be almost like a story. Like, it should be some of the things that, like, my team, my copywriters do is, like, you want to hit on their pain points. So you want to, I was told, like, what's their bleeding neck? What's the issue that they are dealing with? And you want to really be able to resonate and relate to whatever your target customers' pain points are. And using Building a Story Brand kind of gives you the structure on how to do that. And so that's what you want to do in your email, marketing emails. It's what you want to do in your website. It's marketing materials, social media. Like, you just really want to resonate with them, and Building a Story Brand will help you do that in your writing. And then last but not least, Purple Cow by Seth Godin. I cannot spell. Can't talk today.
What's the cow now?
Purple Cow by Seth Godin. And it says, transform your business by being remarkable. So this is about having your business stand out. Purple cows don't exist. But imagine if you saw a purple cow.
Like, what the F is that?
Right. You're like, what is that? So you want your business to be the purple cow in a land of regular cows.
White and black.
White and black cows. So, yes.
We got through them.
We did.
That was hella books.
It was. You should be good for the year. 1 book a month.
Maybe we'll
start a business book club
Ooh.
with our family.
If y'all want a book club, comment down below. Let us know, because I'm down. I've been trying to read more. I told y'all I like TV, so I'm trying to disconnect from the electronics every once in a while. And dive into a book instead of a show.
Yes. So
I toast them to.
I feel like we should toast to knowledge is power, because obviously if you're doing all this reading, all these books, you're getting all of this knowledge. It's like you're going to be an expert at entrepreneurship by doing it. So knowledge is power, because you don't have to necessarily experience something to, learn all about it. You can be a millionaire now by the knowledge that's in your mind.
Cheers.
Cheers.